Hola chicos y chicas y bienvenidos a nuestra clase de español. Hoy en clase vamos a aprender sobre los lugares, o en inglés, the places. Las metas de la semana, the goals of the week, are for you to be able to say, I can recognize the name for 16 different places, and I can answer questions about where a place is located using a preposition. And remember, last week we learned 10 different prepositions of location. Before we get started, I just wanted to shine a light on some great examples that I saw from our last week's assignment. That was to practice our different prepositions in a sentence and then to create a Google slideshow with pictures representing those sentences. So this first one comes from Matthew, and he used the sentence, El kiwi está lejos de la caja de Amazon. Or in English, the kiwi is far from, lejos de, the Amazon box. And here he has a picture with a kiwi, and it is, as you can see, pretty far from the Amazon box over here. Muy bien, Matthew. Otro ejemplo. This one comes from Liam, and he created the sentence, El gato está enfrente de la caja, using that preposition enfrente de, in front of, and the cat is in front of the box. He added in his picture that represents that sentence quite well. The next example is from Kylie. She created a slide that says, El pájaro está a la derecha de la casa del pájaro. Or, the bird is to the right of, a la derecha de, the birdhouse, la casa del pájaro. And here she has her picture to represent her sentence. Muy bien, Kylie. Aquí, here we have an example from Heath that was very creative. His sentence was, La manzana está enfrente de la fiesta, using that preposition enfrente de, in front of, or the apple is in front of the party. Very creative. He has his apple here and he put it in front of what looks like a party behind. And our last one is from Leslie. She has the sentence, El panda está en el árbol. The panda is in the tree. Muy bien, Leslie. Okay, el horario de hoy, the schedule for today. Primero, vamos a practicar la pronunciación de las palabras de vocabulario. We're going to practice the pronunciation. This time, I'm only going to say each one of the words once, and then I'll pause for you to practice the pronunciation and say it aloud after me. Only going to do it one time, though, because for my class, I know we've done this before. Segundo, second, vamos a practicar cómo contestar a las preguntas de dónde puedes encontrar algo en un mapa. So you're going to practice how to answer questions about where something can be found on a map. And that's where those prepositions from last week are going to come into play. So an example would be la panadería, the bakery, which we'll learn today. Está is al lado de, next to. La iglesia, the church. La iglesia, again, is another vocab word we're going to learn today. Tercero, third, voy a explicar cómo completar y entregar la tarea de la semana. I'm going to explain how to complete and then turn in the homework for this week. Okay, empezamos. Por favor, repitan después de mí. Our first word, la primera palabra es el cine. El cine means the movie theater or the cinema in English. Next, again, I'm going to say it once. Please repeat after me. La panadería. The bakery. La iglesia. the church. El museo, the museum. La playa, the beach. El banco, the bank. La galería de arte, the art gallery. El aeropuerto, the airport. El templo, the temple. El parque, the park. La escuela, the school. La biblioteca, the library. El teatro, the theater. La oficina, the office. El supermercado, the supermarket. La estación de tren, the train station. Muy bien. Now, you're going to see as a resource in your Google Classroom this PDF document that's going to have all of these different vocab words that we just went over. You can use those as a resource as you go through this lesson, and you can also use them as a resource for this week's assignment. Ahora que hemos aprendido las palabras de vocabulario, vamos a aprender cómo podemos usar estas palabras con las preposiciones que hemos aprendido la semana pasada para describir dónde puedes encontrar algo en un mapa. Aquí tenemos un mapa. What do you think mapa means? Mapa is a cognate for map. Aquí tenemos el supermercado, la iglesia, aquí el aeropuerto, la galería de arte, el museo, el cine. A la izquierda del cine tenemos el centro comercial. Lejos del centro comercial tenemos el parque, la biblioteca. So on our map, you see a lot of our different vocabulary words, our different places. And just know that when we're looking at this map for the assignment, we're going to be looking at it from their perspective. So from this perspective, you have the school to the left of the clothing store. La escuela está a la izquierda de la tienda de ropa. Over from this perspective, you see that the museum, el museo, está detrás de, behind, la galería de arte. So we're going to be using this map as we go through our assignment and our lesson today. Okay. Going back to last week when we were creating our different sentences, here you're going to see your sentence structure. As we're going along, we're going to use our map, and then also I have a picture of our vocabulary from last week. Those are those prepositions. If we wanted to describe where something was located on this map, let's say, for example, la panadería o la iglesia. We might want to make a sentence like this. La iglesia está, the church is, to the right of, a la derecha de, la panadería. What do you think that would mean if you wanted to translate it back over into English? La iglesia, the church, está, is, a la derecha de, to the right of, la, the, panadería, bakery. Muy bien. Ahora, how would you describe where the museum is? You might want to make a sentence like, the museum is behind the art gallery. So how would we say that in Spanish? The museum, here, el museo, is, está. Now how would we say behind? If you don't remember from last week, you can always look at your notes. Here, behind is detrás de. So, el museo está detrás de. It's behind what? La galería de arte. Now, let's say we wanted to make a sentence describing where the school is, la escuela. And we want to use that preposition between or entre. The sentence structure is going to be a little bit different because when you use between, you're also usually going to add on this last part to it. So let's see what that would look like using our example. The sentence we're going to create is, the school is between the library and the clothing store. So here, la escuela está entre la biblioteca y la tienda de ropa. Muy bien. Now, what kind of questions can we learn? So for this, a typical question that might call for this kind of a sentence, this kind of a response, would be something like, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Where's the library? ¿Dónde está el centro comercial? Where's the mall? ¿Dónde está el aeropuerto? Where's the airport? If you want to ask where something is, you're going to use this structure. ¿Dónde, where, está, is, el or la for the, and the name of the place. For example, supermercado. ¿Dónde está el supermercado? Where's the supermarket? Let's get an answer to this question. Remember your sentence structure from last week and from earlier in this lesson? How can you describe where the supermarket is located using the map? Well, there's a lot of different prepositions that we learned, so there's not just one answer. One thing you might say is, let's see what's near it. El supermercado está detrás de la iglesia. The supermarket is behind la iglesia, the church. You could also describe it by saying, el supermercado está detrás de la panadería. The supermarket is behind the bakery. You could even say something like, el supermercado está lejos del aeropuerto. The supermarket is far from, lejos de, el aeropuerto. But wait a second, why did we put del here? Why doesn't it just say lejos de and then el aeropuerto? Well, we have to remember that any time that you see de and el next to each other, it forms that contraction del. Muy bien. Ahora es tu turno. Now it's your turn. Your assignment for the week is going to be attached to this lesson, and you're going to see that your instructions are to use this map, and then you're going to answer these 6 questions on page 2 using a Google Doc. So again, you're going to use this map, and then you're going to answer these questions depending on what you see on the map. Now here's the tricky part. You may not repeat prepositions. The goal is to get used to multiple prepositions of location, so you may not repeat prepositions in any of your responses. That means that if you use a la derecha de in one sentence, you can't use it again for another sentence. Remember, the goal is to get used to these different types of prepositions, so we're going to try and not repeat prepositions. There are a few resources for you when you're doing this assignment. Number 1, remember you can have your different vocabulary, lugares de vocabulario. Vocabulario de lugares, lo siento. Lugares, vocabulario, place, vocabulary. You can use that to help you with the Spanish to English translation of these different vocab words. You also have your resource from last week that has all of the prepositions in them. And in addition to that, attached to this lesson, I also have different notes or apuntes for you to use. These notes will lay out the different sentence structures to use and types of questions and what they could mean. Don't forget that when you're submitting this assignment, you're going to do it on a Google Doc. Make sure that you title your Google Doc using the first initial of your first name, then your last name, so I know who I can give a grade to. And then you're going to share it with my email address if you're in my class. If you're in another teacher's class, please make sure that you put their email address in instead. And if you have any questions, as always, go ahead and shoot me an email. I'm here to help. But hopefully we're able to go through this. You guys did great work last week, so I'm looking forward to see what you guys can write for this week's assignment. Gracias, chicos. Nos vemos. Let's see each other soon. Adiós.